Yeah, welcome back to our automatic island. Last time we added in a bunch of new conveyor belts, and then out of recording I just added in a bunch of the glass walls just to secure all of our conveyor belts in. But by the way, if I sound a little bit off, it's because I'm actually sick right now, but we get on with it. So I've added in a bunch of these glass walls, as you can see. So now nearly all of our conveyor belts are walled in. I haven't walled in every single part yet, just because I don't know 100% where we're bringing the animals in from, and that's the only reason we're putting in the glass walls, to stop the animals from walking off the conveyor belt. We've got our center platform in place over there and everything leading to it. Now, the only thing left to do is to go round each of the spots where we collect up herbs or animals and make sure we're getting everything from that area. For example, here we can see we are definitely getting all of these buffalo here, because that is a good amount coming through, and there's nothing left over here. There might be one, yeah, there's one underneath there, but that's not a big deal. We can easily add him on as well. But once we've got every animal from each section that we want completely taken on our conveyor belt path, then we can go around the outside and start to bring in some of these resources, because look at all of this. If we automate all of this as well, that's a great amount of resources coming through. But we have to make sure the animals are out of our way first. So we can see down here, we got a bunch of animals down here that I need to add on. So we've got a lot to do, but it's mainly going around and making sure we're getting as much animals as we can, and then we're going to move on to the resources and our area where we're collecting the loot. So you can see here all the animals are coming up our conveyor belt track here. We've got a good flow of animals coming, but it's going to be so much faster. But you can see off in the distance there that our loot is all being collected into a single chest, and we are of course going to change that into an area where all the loot will be sorted into individual storage. But the flow of animals so far is pretty decent, but we did notice last time that some of the loot was actually getting stuck. You can see we've got some already here, so we may need to make some adjustments here, make sure everything's being collected, but I think this can be made a lot better anyway. So once we get that all collected up perfectly, oh look, we've even got some loot randomly going over there, so that shows we might even need to wall off all the way up here, which is going to be annoying, but we get it done. We want to maximize on the loot, but yeah, we've got some stuff here that needs collecting, so this bit needs adjusting. And then we have our loot chute here, so the loot comes off the end of the conveyor belt, it falls down, creating a loot shower down to our sorting area down here. So we will get on with that, but I think for now we need to maximize on everything coming down our conveyor belt tracks. So none of this section here is being used anymore, so we can actually remove all of this. What do we have in here? So this one, oh my god, look at all of those resources we collected up in this one. And then we come over to this one here, which is our current one we got going, and this one's building up nicely, but we got a good variety of stuff going on in here. So I think what we do, let's just offer all of that. We've finished poo, but let's get rid of that, pick that up. And now we can get rid of this row of conveyor belts here just to keep everything nice and tidy. I'm pretty sure I'm playing it about 30 FPS right now, and we've still got a lot more to go, so this could get very interesting. So better to get rid of these ones that aren't being used, and let's get to work. So this part here, the chickens are a bit of a problem. We might need to figure out how to make sure the chickens go up the track, because they seem to be very good at avoiding the conveyor belt mechanics. But we've got some herbs not coming in here, so let's make sure they get added on. Put one in there, put another one next to it. And then we move this one in. Oh, all right, we need to get rid of this rock. Hey, boom. And then we put that one in. Lovely. We will keep an eye on it, make sure we don't miss any down the line, but for now that's that bit sorted. Look at all these resources we can get around this starter edge as well. So let's just fly around and let's look for our closest section where we're not getting the animals. It could be those giraffes down there. Yeah, this is definitely a hot spot for a bunch of animals here, so this will be a good spot to get sorted out, and we can simply add that onto our track up there. So let's put one onto there, and we can now attach that on. Now we just gotta get them all onto there. Okay, now one thing I did do is I brought a spawn point with me and an altar so that we can actually find out their perfect spawns. So if I activate this and now travel, oh my god, that feels so much smoother. Now when we head back, we'll see exactly where they spawn. So they seem, oh my god, look at that dodgy spawn. Where's the giraffes? All right, we've got some giraffes behind me. All right, cool. So mainly over this section here. All right, that seems pretty good. So now let's travel and let's see how that does. Okay, and they should, there we go. All right, the first lot's gone in. All right, that seems pretty good. We may need to cover this back area a little bit more. These ones up here, we might just have to wait for them to walk off. I could put some sloped ones up there, but we also got a whole bunch of buffalo, so that could just be another way to keep it gradually coming in. But these cows, this is great. So we do need to let them actually through. Get rid of that glass wall. Boom. There we go. Now they are added to the collection. Let's go. So we do need to wall it all off, but look at that. That's great. Another whole bunch of animals added, and we still got a few more to get from here as well. So I'm going to get these giraffes in while we skip this night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. And good morning. We are just here putting in these glass walls to make it completely walled in. It's incredibly annoying, especially when you're being taken out by buffalo, but there we go. We've got that up to the top. So now the slope here is walled in. We'll probably do the same with down here as well. Now there are some animals down here, but that's because I broke the track. If we hit a travel real quick, as we come back, you will see we have a good amount of it covered now. The only problem is this giraffe spawns everywhere. Every time I put a new area blocked off, he spawns somewhere else. So this is going to be a little bit annoying, but I will keep extending it out. And as you can see, we've got a little problem with some of them being stuck around here because of these rocks. So we may not get 100% efficiency from this plot here, but we get majority of it, and they will keep spawning here. And then as we add in more conveyor belts for things like setting up this bedrock here, then that will give us even more conveyor belts. So we will get there eventually. But for now, this area is pretty covered, and we've got the glass walls going up as well. Let me just get one in here. And I think for now we move on, but we come back to look at all of them buffalo. This would actually be super easy to automate here. All we have to do is make a conveyor belt track down the center of this gap. And that means we could get this giraffe and all of these rocks here. Look at all of this. That's beautiful. So let's do that. Let's set up a track going straight through this middle bit. If we get one going kind of here and then another one going here, then anything in this center bit is going to be pushed forward. And as I said, we can attach it to those resources there as well. And that's a great little resource farm. And then we have one on the end. I don't know how far we can get that in. All right, and then we have that one on the end there, which should keep that as a constant flow. So then let's get the second row added in. And then we put that one on the end. It's not too bad. It's a little bit messy, but as long as we get this whole center bit covered, that's huge. And now we just got to do that to a bunch of other plots. But while we go around and do that, I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff that Pocket Pair has announced recently to do with Craftopia. One of which, of course, being the latest status development report. They've released another one for October, and everything they mention in there is just awesome. But one of them is our new area to explore, the cave. Now, I've already gone through it in the other video, so I'm not going to go into too much. What the hell is going on here? Why is this walled off? There we go. But there's going to be new areas around the map. They're going to find holes in the floor that will take us down into caves. Now, this seems incredible. And I was thinking about different builds and things that we would be able to do involving these caves. And it got me thinking that if these caves are going to always be loaded in and there's going to be hordes, I wonder if it's either going to activate once we go in there, or they're always just going to be spawned in. Which, if that's the case, then if these are going to be good hordes, and it's not just going to be the hordes that we see in our regular dungeons, either way it could allow for some great farms. Currently, we can't exactly make farms with the dungeons that we've got, because we're either going to have to stay in that dungeon because of it being a teleport dungeon. Look at this big bear just being difficult. So you could set the automation in there and just stay in there, but you don't exactly want to be doing that. But because they said with the cave you don't have to teleport into the cave, you can just walk straight in, we could essentially have automation set up in there and being brought out of the cave. This is something I can't wait to explore. I feel like this could be a very cool feature, and I like the idea of just seeing a bunch of resources coming out of a mine. So that's going to be super interesting, and I can't wait to dive more into that. But I had a chat with some of you guys on Discord and in the comments of the last video, and a lot of you had some great ideas when it came to the caves. Joey from my Discord said that he wanted to set it up like a bat cave and have like a racetrack coming out of it, and I thought that's such a cool idea. Imagine building like an entire base down there. Obviously we don't quite know what space we've got to mess around with yet, but I really like the sound of that. So I think we may be able to solve some of our problems here just by adding more absorbers. If we just cover more of the area down here, then I think we'll be okay. And if we put them on the center here, then that would actually stop any loot in this middle bit from getting stuck, because it would just get absorbed into there. And then if I put one onto this side, then that's going to get anything that goes off into that far distance. So I'm just going to chill down here for a minute and just see if anything gets stuck. So we got some stuff getting stuck down there. I think if I just bring in a second conveyor belt and put it here, then at least that will cover that far side so nothing can get shot off the side. So let's just keep an eye on it and see if anything does get stuck, but that's looking a lot better already. So yeah, I really like the idea of the caves. I think the caves and having more areas to explore is a great addition to the game. Obviously, they've said they're going to be making all the dungeons more unique, so having something else as well, that is just going to be awesome. And of course, with it being a seamless world, they're just going to be everywhere and it's going to be so fun to go find them. And of course, they said new biomes as well, so it's all very, very exciting, but they still haven't given us any dates yet, and that's kind of killing me. All right, I think we're pretty good on the loot getting stuck down here. I can keep an eye on it over time, but there's no point in worrying too much about that until we know for a fact that all animals are being brought over and resources, because the pattern on which the loot comes up will probably get quite sporadic when we add a whole bunch of more resources to it. So I think we're going to come down and start putting our storage center together. So let's skip to the morning. Right, so I want the storage easily accessible, and it's not going to be if it's got a conveyor belt track down the middle. So I think I'm going to have the loot fall onto a platform, then sorted, then fall to storage. This will allow me to just walk along the storage and collect what I need from the right chest. So let's cut it off about here for our conveyor belt track. Now I am unfortunately going to have to move this chest, so all this loot we have currently collected, I am just going to get rid of it. I will let the picture book enjoy this profit, although we actually didn't get rid of that many, so let's just get rid of everything so I can get rid of this chest and we can move this complete storage area along. Let's not let any build-up happen though. Come here. All right, the build-up's going to happen regardless. We'll just clear it as we go. So we want all the loot coming through, and I think we have it fall down about here. So let's get rid of these ramps a second. Let's bring out the glass floor. So this is where I want to walk. So then let's put the chests backwards. So it's kind of like this, which gives us space to walk around. Now I'm just going to get all the loot from down under here just to prevent any extra lag. I'm killing my frames as it is. I don't need loot contributing to that. So let's just get rid of this a second so we can clearly see what we're doing. Get rid of this floor here just to make it nice and clear. Okay, so this is where we're going to walk down, and this gives us perfect access to each chest. And we can continue this floor all the way down. And the chest would be every other floor. So kind of like this, which gives us plenty of space to keep everything gridlocked and to be able to have easy access. Probably shouldn't use glass floors to make it even more clear, but I just love the way they look. So now we need to put a sorting machine above each one. Which way round? That way round. We need it about here. Then we have these coming along, and then we put a conveyor belt on the end of this chest going in. Let's see how that works out. So give me a resource here. All right, animal flesh. Let me put some animal flesh in there. Exclude only selected items. Yes. Okay. And here comes some animal flesh here. So it goes in, comes out, falls down. Boom, straight into there. We've now got a collection for animal flesh. Let's go. And now we're going to do that for everything else that is coming down our conveyor belt track. So let's start by minimizing the lag and get rid of these conveyor belts here because we no longer need these. In fact, we can get rid of all these glass floors because we really don't need them. By the way, I have an automation set up for glass floors and for conveyor belts. So if you guys want one of those, let me know and I'll show you what I've set up. But I knew I had to because this has absolutely killed my collection of conveyor belts and glass stuff. But it's definitely going to be worth it. All right, so we're getting quite a collection here. What else? Right, sheep wool. So we can go through and adjust the storage for different things and maybe work out a particular order. But I think for right now, it's mainly getting them separated. All right, so there should be sheep wool sorted as well now. In fact, just to make this easier, I think I just fly through and at least add in all the sorters and stuff. Okay, so now we've got the conveyor belts coming all the way down. That splits off to each of these sorters with storage underneath. I don't actually know how many we're going to need, so I just have to keep adding to it as we go. But once we get all of these to different resources, we've currently only got the meat and the sheep wool set up. So we've definitely got to go through and add the rest in. But that then allows us to access the storage area from here. And as you can see, I'll put up a little icon on the end of each of these chests and we're set. We'll have everything with its correct storage. Now, I like the idea of having a little base down here. So I think what what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put some floors along here with just a couple glass ramps up. So if you want to, you can come up here and see what will eventually be the constant loot shower coming down from up here. We got some coming down here now, look. So you can go up here and you can see it all in action. Now, as you can see, with some of these elites going up the conveyor belt track over there, they're actually letting off bombs, which means eventually small pieces are just slowly going to get destroyed. We're going to see a conveyor belt disappear or whatever, and I'm going to have to go around maintaining the island. But as long as that's all I've got to do, I'm absolutely fine with that. So there we go. We got a new storage area for me to work on. I've got to go around and add more animals on, but we are making incredible progress. And I think it's almost time to go around and start adding all the resources on as well. We kind of want to be doing that while we're doing the animals to make sure that we're not just putting in unnecessary conveyor belts. We can keep everything as tight as possible. But we still got a lot to go. I'm running at about 30 FPS, but we shall see. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do drop a like and subscribe. Remember to join the Discord. All the links are down below. But most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!